Euro 2024 Qualifying Scotland vs Norway prediction, team news, lineups preview. With their first-place destiny in Euro 2024 Qualifying Group A out of their own hands, Scotland close out their preliminary campaign against Norway at Hampden Park on Sunday. Steve Clarke's side were forced to do it the hard way to rescue a point in a 2-2 draw with Georgia on Thursday, while their visitors are still in contention to land a spot in the playoffs. Match preview. Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta memorably labelled the level of officiating in the Premier League a disgrace earlier this month, and Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay used the same word to describe Georgia's antics during Thursday's bad-tempered draw with the Crusaders. The Manchester United man had restored parity for Clarke's side following an opener from Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, who subsequently doubled his side's advantage with a fine piece of individual skill before Lawrence Shankland headed home an injury-time equaliser to silence the Tbilisi crowd. No fewer than 32 fouls were committed throughout the fiery 90 minutes as McTominay lashed out at Georgian players crying like babies, but the Group A rankings will make for positive reading for the midfielder and co. who have already guaranteed a direct route to Germany while the Crusaders seek redemption in the playoffs. However, Scotland's chances of a first-placed finish in the section have now diminished owing to Spain's victory over Cyprus, which sent La Roja 2 points clear of Clarke's men at the top of Group A, and Spain will consign Scotland to a second-placed ranking with all 3 points against Georgia. Any other result would leave the door ajar for Scotland to rise to the summit. Although their vastly inferior goal difference means that the hosts realistically need Spain to lose to Georgia while they endeavour to get the job done against Norway, whose path to Euro 2024 is not totally blocked off just yet. Seeking to inflict a fourth loss from 5 matches on Scotland during their miserable winless sequence, Norway took a break from competitive duties to butt heads with the Faroe Islands in an exhibition contest on Thursday, where Jorgen Strand Larsen and Oscar Bob ensured victory before the halftime whistle blew. That success marked a 5th win from 6 games for Stale Solbakkens informed troops during a stellar autumnal period, which also saw Norway string together a run of 3 successive Euros qualifying wins over Cyprus twice in Georgia before falling to Spain's superiority on October 15. As Spain and Scotland ride off into the top 2 sunset, Norway, who are 2 points better off than Georgia in 3rd place, have been left to bemoan their disastrous start to proceedings, but the Nordic nation could yet be one of 12 teams to have a second bite at the cherry in the playoffs. The visitors' current Nations League standing will not suffice, but if enough teams ranked higher than them earn direct qualification to Euro 2024, Solbakken's men will fight for the right to progress to only their 2nd continental championships, having made their first and only Euros foray so far in 2000. Norway were the victims of a late Scottish turnaround 5 months ago, though, as Erling Haaland's spot kick had Solbakken's men leading until the final 5 minutes, where Lyndon Dykes and Kenny McLean's strikes propelled Scotland to their 10th win from 19 games against their familiar foes. Team news. No Scotland players were forced off the pitch due to injury in Thursday's draw with Georgia, although Clarke was not afraid to shuffle his pack at half-time, sacrificing Billy Gilmore and Ryan Christie for McLean and Lewis Ferguson. McLean, the hero of the hour in Oslo 5 months ago, set up McTominay only a few minutes after being introduced and is a candidate to start in the middle, while fellow substitutes Stuart Armstrong and Shankland combined for Scotland's injury-time leveller in Tbilisi and ought to come into contention too. Much was made of the Scotland goalkeeping situation with Angus Gunn injured, and while Zander Clarke was given the nod for Thursday's encounter, Clarke may now wish to see Liam Kelly in international action. In contrast, fans of Norway and Manchester City are waiting for updates on Erling Haaland's condition with bated breath after the Premier League Golden Boot winner suffered another ankle problem during his side's win over the Faroe Islands, where he was brought on as a second-half substitute. Haaland was able to complete the match, but it would be a shock to see him risked here given the previous ankle issue he sustained against Bournemouth a few weeks ago, while Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard will not be involved as he recovers from an undisclosed problem, believed to be a concussion after taking a ball to the face in training. With Haaland's availability up in the air and Alexander Sorloth also absent through injury, Celta Vigo's Strand Larsen ought to retain his spot at the tip of the attack, where Mohamed El-Yunusi could be reintroduced on the left flank. Scotland possible starting lineup: Kelly, Porteous, McKenna, Cooper, Ralston, Armstrong, McGregor, Taylor, McGinn, McTominay, Shankland. Norway possible starting lineup: Dingeland, Ryerson, Ostegard, Ajur, Wolf, Berga, Berg, Orsons, Bob, Larson, El-Yunusi. We say, Scotland 1-0 Norway. Already making do without Creator-in-Chief Odegaard and a talented marksman in Sorloth. Norway's attacking bite will shrink further if Haaland misses out at Hampden Park, and Solbaken's men did not blow the Faroe Islands away by any stretch. Jellied legs from a long trip to Georgia will do Scotland no favours either. Potentially leading to a relatively low-key affair, but we can envisage Clark's men keeping their depleted visitors at arm's length and doing all that they can to pip Spain to first place. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.